Hi everyone, and welcome to your general induction to CAP1. My name is Brian Rankin. I'm with the Chartered Accountants Ireland, and I hope you find the following information useful. So just by way of an agenda for the material we're going to cover in today's presentation, we're going to spend a little bit of time on just a general induction and some information on the course ahead for CAP1. I'm going to be presenting some information to you. We're going to follow that with, again, a presentation from Nicola on CA Diary, and that, of course, is the mechanism through which you record your professional experience. We're going to follow that with a couple of slides on CA support, all the support that not only our members get, but our students get, and Dee is going to present very briefly on that. And finally, the Student Society, CASSI, Emma is going to cover some information on that. So we hope all of this information is useful. So just for anyone that's accidentally signed up for this course and you're not exactly sure what you're getting yourself involved in, just a little information about this body and about the organisation and the qualification itself. So who are Chartered Accountants Ireland? Well, it's Ireland's longest established professional accountancy body, established in 1888. It's the biggest in Ireland now, with 28,500 members, offering the premier professional accountancy qualification in Ireland. Really, it's widely considered that there are accountants and there are chartered accountants. So you're studying towards Ireland's premier accountancy qualification with a shadow of a doubt. And we are the leading voice of the accountancy profession, and not just in the accountancy profession indeed, but right across business in general. We have offices in Belfast and Dublin with education facilities, and now obviously with the year ahead, very sophisticated education facilities that we're very proud of. So what does the Institute do? Well, our jobs are many and varied. Our jobs include training, support, recognition and promotion of the qualification to ensure that we continue to attract the brightest and best, and the regulation of the profession as well resides with the Institute. And obviously our membership role is extremely important, and we provide in that space a range of member services to members and to students indeed, right across their career from the time of qualification right up to retirement and indeed beyond. Our membership, as I mentioned, is 28,500, which means that we're widely recognized and very influential as an organization. So moving on, and just now to focus on you and your journey to this point. What you'll be encountering from this point on will be different to your experience with education before. And right now, obviously, everything is different with COVID. So professional education is a mix of part-time applied education allied with the generation of practical on-the-job relevant experience. So it's very different from a college environment. When you're a student with us, you'll be working usually in an accountancy or finance or tax role, gaining quality accounting experience, because we expect the qualified chartered accountant to hit the ground running and start adding value from day one. Importantly, there's no natural divide between experience and education in the working day. So for you, this is all about balancing the competing pressures that you'll encounter from full-time work and part-time professional education during the months and years ahead. But don't worry, we'll get you through the process. There's support at every step of the way, all explained later. You'll find everything that will appear in your examinations in the competency statement, so there's no surprises. The competency statement basically covers everything you'll be learning at CAP1. The full syllabus and all the details. You'll find it in the Learning Hub, or Moodle, in the CAP1 section and in the CAP1 section of the website. So I touched on the unusual circumstances we find ourselves in this year. As you know, all education will be delivered exclusively online for this academic year to adhere to public health guidelines. So just as we're having to get used to a completely new way of education and a delivery online, that is education delivery online, we'll be asking you to approach fully online professional education differently this year. To be successful with online education takes a much more active, committed approach, and we're flagging this at the very start of your studies. There will be much more responsibility placed on the individual student to take ownership of your studies and manage your time to get through a packed syllabus. The Learning Hub will record your activity on the platform to ensure no one falls behind, and you'll get reminders via email to complete a session. But it's going to be up to you to manage your progress. So, for instance, when it comes to attending the live webinars, which will be focused on exam questions and solutions, you'll be expected to have done all the pre-work beforehand. On this slide as well, we cover some of the other very useful tips and hints to assist your education and your student life in the months and indeed the years ahead. And there's some excellent tips and advice that we'd advise you to follow in the years ahead. So in terms of syllabus and content, this template or this box here will give you a snapshot of the course all the way from CAP1, where you are now, all the way through to FAE, and the topics which are examined. You'll see that the CA diary underpins your study and tracks your professional development. This idea then of cumulative principle, what's it all about? Well, our program is based on the cumulative principle. So it's all about building blocks. So topics are examined at, if you like, an understand level at CAP1 and builds to a more technical level in our second year CAP2. Then, at the final year, or FAE, you won't be learning an awful lot that's new, but it would be all about applying this knowledge in a practical business situation. And here, this is just to illustrate this point where subjects at CAP1, if you like, map over to CAP2 in our second year. Support teams then, and we'll be mentioning the support available to students throughout this presentation, but it's good for you to know that you'll have your own education support team at CAP1, led by my colleague Terry Gray. There's also exam support teams specifically for your year at CAP1. There's also a disability office which can advise on all reasonable accommodations in exams, etc. And the training support team will be available for flexible students and support to that group. Now, another query that you're going to have, that many students are going to have, it relates to book collection and getting those books to you. And in response to the ongoing situation with COVID-19, and indeed in the interests of students and staff safety, there won't be a book collection in operation this year. Instead, books will be dispatched by our distributor, Shanahan's, who will contact the student directly once their enrolment has been processed. Distribution will commence round about now in early October. Here on the slide, you'll see the form that Shanahan's are going to issue, and it's all about ensuring that your details and your contact details are correct. As I say, that's going to be sent by email to you. And if you have any text or queries, please do send queries to textbookqueries@charteredaccountants.ie. Another one of the queries naturally you're going to have at the moment relates to timetables. And at this time of year, normally we'd be finalising course timetables for lectures taking place in our facilities in Dublin and Belfast. But of course, things are different this year. From 2020 and 2021, timetables will be dealt with in slightly differently. We'll be releasing content onto the Learning Hub in small 6-week to 2-month chunks. And this is going to enable us to keep taking on board your feedback and making incremental developments and improvements as we move throughout the year. And we're going ahead on that principle. So on that basis, your first timetable is going to cover the first 3 months of the year to December. And further timetables will be released gradually. We anticipate that the next release of timetables covering the first months of 2021 will happen in early December. Remember also that much of the education content is either pre-recorded, or it's quizzes, or it's case studies, which are not tied to a time, and you can choose to engage when it suits you. Your first lecture will include an induction talk, which will give guidance on what to expect during the academic year. We do our best to avoid any timetable changes, but they can happen due to unforeseen circumstances. If a change is required, we'll send you a text message or a message via the Learning Hub to let you know. So please ensure that both your mobile number and email details are correct on your student portal of the website. So the most important question you're going to have is, where do I access all this learning and education? Where do I see my lectures, etc.? And the answer is, it's through a new online education portal called the Learning Hub. And here we have a screen grab of one of those subjects, financial accounting. If anyone has experience of using Moodle as an online portal, well then ours is based on that, and it's very intuitive and easy to navigate. So, for instance, this is what you're going to see when you visit one of the CAP1 subjects, financial accounting. You'll get your login details a few days before your commencement date for CAP1. And by way of training, we've created another video on this section of the website, which brings you through all the different tools available. Please note that when you log in for the first time, you're not going to see all the material for the full year. Instead, you'll see the first tranche or section of learning materials covering that first 6 weeks to 2 months time period. We've taken this approach so that we can make incremental improvements to the material and learning from our experience and your feedback indeed as we go. At the start, you'll see some documents hosted on the Student Centre of the website, but once you get started and you log into the Learning Hub, you can expect all your documents and important information to be hosted there. Important information like the Learning Journal, which contains a planning and delivery schedule for each subject, the CAP1 competency statement, the Professional Education Committee report, which reports on the previous year's exam, a lexicon of terms, the CA diary, and information on Chartered Accountants support. So quite apart from the massive shift to online education, we have other new developments this year, one of which is a new emphasis on ethics and compliance. And this covers key principles such as integrity, objectivity, professional competence, confidentiality, and professional behaviour. Ethics and compliance has been reworked this year to appear across every subject and will be examinable in every CAP1 exam, because these traits are displayed by every chartered accountant. It's what we're about after all. So ensure that you put a focus on this in your studies and in your exams. Another one of our special services for our students is Accountancy Ireland Extra. It's the student-focused version of our member magazine, Accountancy Ireland. The team pulled together stories of interest to our student population, and there's also good material for dropping into exam answers, so it's well worth a look. You'll see the stories in the Learning Hub. Moving on then to attendance. And we record your attendance and engagement with the learning materials for a couple of reasons, as outlined in this slide. So it's going to be a requirement for some training firms. It also will help students, and it helps to track students who perhaps aren't viewing the materials, may not be keeping up, and may need some reach out from the Institute. And obviously, it's going to assess as well how students are engaging with our learning materials in what is our first year. So for us, it's very important, and we think it'll be very, very useful for you as students too. Attendance this year is going to be a combination of webinar attendance and engagement data from the Learning Centre platform, the Learning Hub. So when you join an online webinar, you'll have to fill in your information, including student number and training firm. And in that way, a report is then generated, which shows if the student attended and engaged during the webinar. Here's some information then on key dates, and just to save you from having to scribble down frantically all the dates, we've made it easier for you. So we've actually uploaded key dates for CAP1 on the website, and here we show you exactly where that's available. It's under course information on the current students section of the website. Moving on then to exams, and the chances are, even if you're just about to start, you're already thinking about exams even at this stage, which is great. So last year, we moved to online exams via an e-assessment platform. And given its success earlier this year, we're working on the basis that all exams in 2021 will be by e-assessment. All agreed dates for exams, interim exams, and mocks are now available to view on the Institute website, And we have a wealth of resources available to you to get up to speed. Here you'll see some of the information that's available on the website. It's on the student section of the website and well worth a look even at this stage. On to feedback then, and student surveys are always important to us, but never more than this year as we embark on an exclusively online education provision. The usual surveys in December and April cover the course as a whole, but this year we'll be aiming to get feedback from you on each specific subject. So our ask for you here is to please take part and give us your feedback. It's hugely valued and will be listened to. I mentioned earlier about the supports that CAP1 and indeed right across the 3 years of education can look forward to and can expect. So here you'll see the CAP1 program leader and coordinators and other names for CAP2 and our contacts for FAE indeed. The purpose of and the function of our education support team is to administer the courses, to assist with inquiries and to pass on any academic queries onto our lecturers, and to provide an avenue for feedback on courses. So you'll be getting very familiar over the course of all of 3 years, and particularly in CAP1 with Terry and Yoko, and indeed as you progress with the rest of our education support team. How to contact us? Well, general queries should be addressed to studentqueries@charteredaccountants.ie, and then you're going to have specific queries in relation to CAP1, so you'll see the specific email addresses that are available on this slide. Please do contact us. So I hope that information covering CAP1 induction has been useful, and we'd like to take this opportunity to wish you every success in your studies and in the year ahead. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Nicola Sullivan. I am a member of the team in the Training Support Unit in Chartered Accountants Ireland, and in the Training Support Unit we look after the CA Diary of Professional Development and any queries that you may have around the professional development piece. So I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the CA Diary of Professional Development. First off, what is the CA Diary? The diary is an essential online instrument for documenting and approving relevant work experience during the entire training period. And something important to note here is that the CA Diary is not something that's updated at the end of your training period when you've finished exams. It is expected that you will keep the diary up to date throughout the entire training period. The CA Diary is integral to the student journey and admission to membership. So as we look down the line towards admission to membership, you need your completed exams, but you also need a completed CA Diary to be eligible to join the institute. So the purpose of the professional development piece is to show us that you have acquired a group of core mandatory skills and competencies throughout the training period. Depending on your educational background, you will be assigned either a 3.5 year or a 4-year training period. 3.5 years is the average that most trainees will complete. And throughout those years, you will be demonstrating to us through the CA Diary that you have acquired these professional values and interpersonal skills, that you have an awareness of the business environment, and those competencies are what we would refer to as your core generic transferable skills. And then as an add-on to that, you also have to demonstrate that you've met one group of functional competencies, and they could be from the auditing group, the finance group, tax, or IT. We do have a recognition of prior experience policy, which can recognize prior experience up to a maximum of 18 months. And if you are entering the program with any prior experience that you would like to get recognized, please do reach out to us at Training Support and we can help you. So, the principles of the CA Diary are really learning through reflection on work experience. And this is a fantastic practice to get into, reflecting and evaluating back on your own work. The CA Diary is a portfolio of your learning and development. It's an excellent tool to tap into throughout your career. When you're going for job interviews, you can look back on the CA Diary and take examples for interviews of all those wonderful competencies that you've achieved throughout your training. The CA diary is your responsibility, so it is the responsibility of the trainee to update the diary with at least one entry per month. You should set review dates with your mentor. Keep on top of your mentor. Make sure they're reviewing your diary entries. Make sure they're completing 6 monthly reviews. Use the supports available to you. So you will see under Student Centre on our website, there is a page called CA Diary Resources. And on that page, you'll find lots of PDF guides, video tutorials and recordings of recent webinars we have delivered, and use all of those supports available to you. Your goal is ultimately admission to membership. In order to be eligible for admission to membership, you need your exams, the education piece, and your experience demonstrated through the CA diary. So don't panic, please don't panic. Support on the CA diary is available to you. There's lots of, as I said, recorded tutorials and webinars available. We do recommend recording at least one diary entry a month. If you ever have any queries, concerns, anything you would like to discuss regarding the CA diary, please don't hesitate to reach out to us on training support at charteredaccountants.ie. And how do you gain access to the CA diary? Two things: you need to have an approved contract, whether that's a training contract or a flexible route contract. So that must be approved. You must have a mentor assigned. If you're completing a training contract, your firm will assign a mentor. If you're on the flexible route, there is a flexible route mentor approval form on that CA diary resources page that you can see on the screen now. Once you have those two things approved, you're going to gain access to the online diary platform, and that is through Current Students, Student Centre and CA Diary. You're logging in with your student number and your password of choice, and you're gaining access to that online platform to create your diary entries. All right, folks, that's everything from me. As I said, please don't hesitate to contact training support at charteredaccountants.ie at any time, and we'll be happy to help. Thank you. Stop recording.
Hello everyone, my name is Dee France and I'm the manager of CA Support. This is an additional service here at the Institute, and I'd just like to run through a couple of the services that we provide for you. So our mission is pretty simple. This is our guiding principle, and it's the sole purpose is to care for the well-being of every student and every member for life. So just a little bit about the history of this service. The background is we have been around for quite a long time, 1928, and we were founded originally as a benevolent fund. So that was primarily to provide financial assistance to members that fell on hard times. So these days we've evolved into a fully holistic service, and that's very much about a people-centered service and looking after the whole person, so around your mental and your physical health. These days we're a registered charity as well, and we have a donation-based model where all of our services rely on donations from members of the Institute. We are separate to the Institute. We sit alongside the Institute with our own board of directors, and we actually have a dedicated team to look after this service as well. So just moving on, so what is it we actually do? So as I say, our sole purpose is about empowering and supporting our students and our members. We like to think that we're a one-stop shop for all of your well-being needs, and we are all about providing those practical and emotional supports to you throughout your whole life cycle. And the most important aspect here is that we are free for everybody, so there is that's a nice benefit to you. These are the sort of points in this life cycle that you may sort of hit road bumps, if you like. So obviously you're here at the very beginning, and the kind of issues that you might encounter would be around exam stress or financial issues, or indeed that work-life balance that you're trying to obtain. And then as you move through your life cycle, there would be other obstacles in your kind of personal and your professional life that we would step in to provide support around. So the other services that we offer to empower you would be the confidential listening service. We have an outside third party that provides professional counselling. And we have in-house wellness coaching provided by one of the team. And indeed, those referrals over to the Institute for Career Coaching and Recruitment, a very good mentoring program that's in place. And then indeed those CPD and lifelong learning, those sort of professional development supports as well. And then obviously we run lots of mental health and wellbeing events that you're very welcome to join. So then the other supports that we have is a dedicated website with very fresh content uploaded all the time, and we tune into our key charity partners, just some of them there: A List for Life, the mental health charity Shine, another mental health charity, obviously Drink Aware speaks for itself, and then that sort of youth program spun out as well. So we try to reach you on social media channels and then through the sort of more conventional newsletters. So we're obviously there talking to you and providing content all the while. So this is where you can reach us. Pretty straightforward, as I say. That's the dedicated website, and then we have a dedicated email inbox, and that's our telephone number. So just remains for me to say very, very good luck in your journey with the Chartered Accountants of Ireland. Thanks very much.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm the current CASSI chair. So today I just want to talk a bit about CASSI and the regional societies and what they stand for and what they do. So to give you a broad overview, there's 7 regional societies and then there's CASSI. So the regional societies are specific to each area. So for example, there's the Dublin Society, which is CASSI, there's the Ulster Society and the Cork Society and so on. So where you sit your lectures depends on what society you'll fall under. So each of the regional societies host events which are specific to their region and their area. So these are events such as networking events, social events, mental health and wellbeing focused events, and educational events. CASSI, on the other hand, is the overarching society which encompasses both north and south of the island. So CASSI is very much chartered accountant facing. So instead of having, say, 7 chairs, instead of having 7 chairs contact chartered accountants on different occasions throughout the year, we have a quarterly CASSI meeting whereby all of the regional societies can come together, discuss any of the concerns which were raised in their region, and then CASSI then escalate this on to chartered accountants. In terms of the positions on the societies, there's 7 positions on the CASSI society and there's 6 positions on each of the regional societies. The 7 on CASSI being the chair, the vice chair, the treasurer, the PRO, the secretary, the education officer, and then the 7th position, which isn't on the regional societies, is the events officer. So if you're interested, I'll just give you a quick overview. This is also our last AGM, which was 2020 and 2021. So this was actually the CASSI AGM, which was held in February. So in terms of what we do, I know I've mentioned some of the things that we do, for example, representing your views and concerns and having social events, but we're here to help out if you have any queries for us. We work with chartered accountants to provide your feedback and give the student perspective on the education and exam programs. There's obviously more crack involved in being involved in the student societies. So for example, every year there are different regional activities which take place. In order to get involved, you're sent an email or you can follow us on our platforms, which I'll mention. But for CASSI, there's one event, large event, which takes place, which gives students the opportunity to not just only network with their colleagues in their regions, but also network with students from across Ireland. This is usually held in the form of a ball down in Carlow, and it's a 2-day weekend away. So it's great crack. If you get the opportunity to attend, it's brilliant fun and I would highly recommend. Not that I'm slightly biased being on CASSI, but to get involved with CASSI or any of the regional societies, our AGMs for the regional societies are in October and November. So simply drop us an email or reach out to us on our Instagram or LinkedIn, and we can set you up with the regional chairs. And to get involved with CASSI, our AGM is in February. So you can get involved by sending us an email. You just speak briefly at the AGM and then there's voting as the norm. It's obviously great to get involved. What's really great about CASSI is it's an all-Ireland society, so you meet students from across the island, both north and south. So it's a great opportunity to network, get to know people from across Ireland, and yeah, so if you're interested in getting involved, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks very much.